Alabama's WVUA News at 10.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jennifer Edwards. Victoria Sheehan has the night off. We begin tonight in Pickens County, where state troopers are investigating a police chase that ended in a deadly crash. Details are in tonight's top story. According to Sergeant Steve Jarrett of the Alabama State Troopers, the accident happened on Highway 17 around 6:40 Sunday night. Authorities say the chase started when a Carrollton police officer attempted to pull over a car that ended up speeding away. Carrollton police say officers were calling off the chase when the fleeing car hit another vehicle head-on. Sergeant Jarrett says the crash killed the driver and a passenger inside the fleeing car. He says 2 other people were taken to the Pickens County Medical Center with non-life-threatening injuries. And on your crime watch, 2 shootings in West Alabama, and investigators are saying they could be connected. One teenager is dead after a shooting outside of a club in Tuscaloosa. According to Captain Lloyd Baker with Tuscaloosa Metro Homicide, police responded to a shooting call on the 3200 block of 10th Street around 2 o'clock this morning. Authorities say the victim was shot from behind outside of Club Secret, and the suspect fled the scene. Police identified the victim as 18-year-old LeBaron Rice. He was rushed to DCH Regional Medical Center and pronounced dead around 3 o'clock this morning. Captain Baker says police are investigating whether or not this shooting could be connected to one that happened at the MAPCO on 69 South earlier this month.
It's unclear at this time. However, we do have reason to believe that this shooting was possibly in retaliation for another shooting that occurred 2 weeks ago at the MAPCO down on Highway 69 South. Basically, we have 2 groups, opposing groups have been involved in ongoing altercation, and we believe this particular shooting sprang from the altercation that occurred at the MAPCO that resulted in a male being shot.
According to Captain Baker, no arrests have been made. And more on your crime watch. Less than an hour later, another shooting occurred, this time into an occupied dwelling. Tuscaloosa Metro Homicide investigators say it happened in the 2600 block of 18th Street. The resident of the home told police her house had been shot into several times by unknown suspects. According to police, there were several people inside of the home during the shooting. Captain Lloyd Baker says the shooting could be connected to the Club Secret incident because the occupants of the house were also at the club earlier that night.
At 2 o'clock, we had the shooting at the Club Secret that resulted in 1 death. About an hour later on 18th Street, we had a house shot up, had several rounds fired into an occupied dwelling and a vehicle outside. There were no injuries in that case, but we are looking into that case to see if it's also related.
According to Baker, no arrests have been made in connection with this incident. Both cases are still under investigation. And the United States is pushed to cliff's edge. According to Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid, there will be no deal on the fiscal cliff tonight. Reid says while negotiations are ongoing, the Senate will not vote on any plan this evening. Reporter Elizabeth Corridon has the latest.
As we gather with so much work left undone, guide our lawmakers with your wisdom.
The Senate convened its rare Sunday session with a prayer for progress. The House returned from its holiday hiatus. With less than 48 hours until the U.S. economy goes over what's being called the fiscal cliff, lawmakers are locked in a fierce face-off over a set of spending cuts and tax hikes.
We're apart on some pretty big issues.
I'm willing to get this done, but I need a dance partner.
On NBC's Meet the Press, President Obama made a final pitch for his plan to preserve Bush-era tax cuts for everyone but the wealthiest Americans.
Regardless of partisan differences, our top priority has to be to make sure that taxes on middle-class families do not go up that would hurt our economy badly.
A major sticking point continues to be the annual income level at which those tax increases should kick in. The threshold has wavered from $250,000 to as high as $1 million. Republicans argue the country doesn't have a tax revenue problem, it has a spending problem.
Unless we do something now, the government will continue to get bigger and the deficit will continue to get bigger.
Following the president's interview, Speaker of the House John Boehner issued a statement saying, in part, Republicans have made every effort to reach the balanced deficit agreement that the president promised the American people. We've been reasonable and responsible. The president is the one who's never been able to get to yes.
But what I ran on and what the American people elected me to do was to put forward a balanced approach.
Despite the ongoing blame game, there is consensus on one thing. Time is running out. I'm Elizabeth Corridon reporting.
The Senate will reconvene Monday morning with just over 12 hours until the U.S. goes over the fiscal cliff. If nothing is done by midnight Monday, mandatory tax hikes and spending cuts will kick in, impacting every American. The countdown is on. In 8 days, the Crimson Tide will play for its 15th national championship. Bama fever is in full swing as the Tide faithful get ready for the showdown in Miami. Alabama and Notre Dame will face off in Miami Monday, January 7th for the Discover BCS National Championship game. The Tide and the Fighting Irish will battle it out on the gridiron inside Sun Life Stadium. Kickoff is set for 7:30 p.m. and Alabama's home team has complete coverage of the Road to 15 for you. Starting Thursday, January 3rd, Lynn Brooks, Terry Brewer, Gary Harris, Todd Hoyer, Daniel Sparkman, Travis Leader, Bradley Whittington will have live reports from Miami. And on Monday, January 7th, our special BCS programming will start at 4 o'clock. If you're headed to Miami, we'll have useful information for your trip. And if you'll be watching the festivities from home, we'll bring you a taste of all the local flavor. All the fun starts next Thursday right here on WVUA, Alabama's home team.